All right, welcome guys. This is an absolutely crazy NBA slate, running short on time too. Only got about 20 minutes to talk about this, so we're going to go really quick. There's so many different ways you can go. It's a really good slate for tournaments. There's a ton of value. There's going to be some sneaky value that people are overlooking. So let's start off with Andre Drummond, who is no longer playing. That makes Jared Allen a solid play in the mid-range. That makes JaVale McGee a good value. Westbrook playing, minutes monitored. Who the hell knows what that means? Kawhi Leonard out, Paul George out, Pat Beverly out. The Clippers look good. Taurean Prince questionable. If he misses, Cedi Osman's a good value. Some of the stuff is for Tuesday. Garrison Matthews will start. There's absolutely no chance I'll ever play him with all the value on the slate. Westbrook again, minutes monitored. Who knows what that means? Wendell Carter Jr. will play. If you play any Bulls in the state on this slate, I think you are burning money. Marvin Bagley, questionable. Rashawn Holmes, questionable. If they're both out, Whiteside, Bielitsa become good values. Eric Gordon out. PJ Tucker out. The Rockets are where you want to load up for value for cash games, in my opinion. Wall, Nwaba, House, Tate, Cousins starting for Houston. No time to go over the over-unders. So let's just go right into it and start off with Chicago and Indiana. On the Chicago side, like I said, if you're playing, I think it's a mistake if you play anyone on this slate. There's just too many good spin-ups, too many good value plays. If I had to pick one, it would be Zach LaVine. That's it. Really quick, really simple. On the Indiana Pacers side, I think there's only really one guy I'm considering now, and that's Domantas Sabonis. Love the matchup for him if he plays close to 40 minutes. I think he's a really good spend-up. Other than that, there's just no way I'm getting to anyone else. Again, there's too many good guard spend-ups. There's too much good value for me to consider getting to anyone else really on the Indiana Pacers. That's pretty quick and simple. Sabonis, I do think isn't playable in both formats. And then Zach LaVine if you want to get really different. Now, Houston, Washington. So this is definitely where you want to load up for cash games on the Houston side. John Wall looks like one of the best plays of the slate at 7.5K. No Eric Gordon, no Oladipo, no Christian Wood, revenge game narrative, no defense going to be played in this one. Absolutely love John Wall. Again, that's not a contrarian take at all. You guys all know John Wall is the best play of the slate. Now, DeMarcus Cousins is a lot more viable now. I think there's a chance he plays more minutes. He's a good point per minute guy, so you can definitely take a shot on Boogie for tournaments. And then we have value, Jayshawn Tate at 4.6. He'll play probably 30, 35 plus minutes. He's good value. Danuel House is starting. He should play over 30 minutes. He's a good value as long as he hits his shots. Sterling Brown should play a lot more minutes. He's been a good player off the bench. I like him a lot for value. And David Nwaba starting, I think he looks one of the best values of the slate. Should probably push for over 30 minutes. So all these Houston guys look really good. Definitely think this is where you want to look to for cash. Even throw Ben McLemore in the mix. I think he's going to have to play some decent minutes. So you can throw him in there. Probably Mason Jones will play as well. He got a little bit of run that last game. Those are a little bit more contrarian options, though. So really, again, Houston's the team you want to load up on. John Wall looks amazing. Boogie, good tournament play. Then you have the value. Tate, House, Sterling Brown, David Nwaba. I think you're going to want to get probably at least one of those guys for cash games for sure. Maybe even two for cash. All right, moving on to the Washington Wizards. Westbrook, Beal, both good options. Westbrook, minutes monitor. Again, who knows what that means? Scott Brooks has historically said that and played his guys' normal minutes. So I think Westbrook's an interesting tournament play. I think that will lower the ownership, but he's got massive upside if he plays normal minutes and a great matchup. So I do like Westbrook. I do like Brad Beal too. Even with Westbrook playing, I think Brad Beal will play close to, 38, 39 minutes in a close game, going up against his former teammate in John Wall. I think Brad Beal makes for a good play at 8.9K. The rest of the Washington Wizards, it's really only Mo Wagner for me. No one else I'm getting to. Mo Wagner, I think, is a really good value. If he plays over 20 minutes again, I think this 3.2K price is too cheap. What you have to ask yourself, though, is now there's a lot of value on the slate, so it's a little bit difficult to try to differentiate which ones are the good values and which ones are the great values. But I think Mo Wagner, if he gets over 20 minutes, definitely has potential to go for, 25, 30 plus fantasy points. So there is some risk, though, right? They have other centers, if foul trouble concerns, but I do think Mo Wagner is a good value. Moving on to Atlanta and New York. So I just have a hard time getting to really anyone in this game, at least on the Atlanta side, with all the value opening up. So Hawks, Trae Young, tournament play, maybe. That's it. On the Knicks side, I think Julius Randle is definitely still viable. There's just so many good spend-up guards that it makes it a little bit tricky to get to Randle, but He should play mid-30s minutes in a good matchup. He is underpriced. So I do have some interest in Julius Randle. I think Nerlens Noel is still a solid value. He played 32 minutes out last game. I'm expecting similar minutes for him. So I do like Noel for value. And then other than that, there's just no way I'm taking a shot on one of these guards because, again, there's just too much value on this slate. 3 games up, 3 games down. If you guys could hit that like button, it would really, really help me out. We're at 300 plus viewers, 30 likes. Let's try to get to 100 likes before the end of the show. I'll be on for another 15 minutes. Again, I'm going quick. Philly, Utah, I'm just fading this game. Yeah. Embiid, if he plays, absolutely no interest in anyone. If Embiid misses, we look to Dwight Howard for value. Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris will become a little bit more viable, but I'm just not going to do it. On the Utah side, Donovan Mitchell's an interesting contrarian play at the guard position, but you have to ask yourself, are you going to play him over John Wall? Are you going to play him over Brad Beal? Are you going to play him over Kyrie, Harden, Fox? My answer is no. So pretty simple. That game's a pretty easy fade for me. Cleveland and Golden State. This one's an interesting one. No Andre Drummond. I think Jarrett Allen, if you're spending up in center, Jarrett Allen would be the guy for me. Should play over 30 minutes. Should be able to have his way against an undersized front court in Golden State. So I do have some interest there in Jarrett Allen. You could look to JaVale McGee. He's a little bit riskier now with all the value opening up, but he should play 15-ish minutes. He's a good point per guy. It's a revenge game. He can definitely go for 20 plus. He went for 23 in 16 minutes at last game. So both centers look good. Taurean Prince, this is actually pretty big news. He is questionable. Not that I really want to play Taurean Prince, but if he misses, we could look to a sneaky value play in Cedi Osman at 3-3. He played 25 minutes out last game. If there's no Taurean Prince and he starts, I actually would like Cedi Osman for value. And I think if Taurean Prince gets ruled out way after lock, Chedi's going to be really, really low owned. So that's a sneaky value play I think we could look to on the slate. Other than that, Sexton, Garland, I think are decent options. Again, it is a good matchup. Neither are priorities, though, for me. On the Golden State side, honestly, not a ton I like here. Steph, like Trae Young, yeah, in play for tournaments. Draymond Green, There's too many good plays now for me to really get excited about that. So Golden State's a pretty easy fade for me. Moving on to Miami and the Clippers, another team where I think it's a fade, looking at the pricing. If I had to pick one, it would be Jimmy Butler at 8.2K, but there's just no priorities here. Now, again, the Clippers, they're missing Paul George, they're missing Kawhi Leonard, they're missing Pat Beverly. So 3 solid defenders off the court. If you want to get to someone, it would be Jimmy. But other than that, I have a hard time getting to none, Hero, Bam. There's just, pretty easy fade for me. Now we talk about the Clippers. So Clippers are the team you're going to want some interest in. Lou Williams at 6.4K was on pace for about 36 minutes. The last game, it blew out. He should be the number one player on offense. He went for 30 points, 10 assists. I think Lou Williams is a good play in the mid-range, does have a ton of upside. Marcus Morris at 5.2 should probably play close to 30 minutes. I think he's a decent play. We have Batum, who's fine. Again, lower usage guy. Ibaka went for a massive game the last game, but again, he's still splitting time with Zubac. I would list him as more of a risky play. With no Pat Beverly, I think Reggie Jackson looks like a really good play at 4.9K. He should play probably 35 minutes. He's a good offensive player. I do have some interest in Reggie Jackson. And then Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann. These guys are going to have to play a lot more. I'm guessing 30 plus for both of them. Luke Kennard, viable value play. Terrence Mann, again, he should probably play 25 to 30 minutes, maybe a little bit more. So I do like both of them for value. So really, there's a lot to like here for the Clippers. We got Lou at the top. I think he's the guy that has the most upside. Marcus Morris is solid. I really like Reggie Jackson. But again, guard is loaded today. And then you have Mann and Kennard for value. All right, last game here, Brooklyn and Sacramento. This is a game that looks so appealing. What's the over-on in this one? 243, 4.5 point spread. Really like Harden and Kyrie. I think they're two of the best benefits of the slate. With all the value opening up, it's 100% a stars and scrubs slate. If you're building the balanced build today, you are doing things wrong. It's absolutely stars and scrubs. James Harden is one of the best plays of the slate. He is running the point guard too. Kyrie Irving even said Harden is the point guard. 10, 12, 16 assists in 3 of the last 4 games. I really like Harden, an amazing matchup. I do like Kyrie too. And Kyrie has shooting guard eligibility, which is nice. Like them both a lot here, and it's an absolutely amazing matchup. Value-wise for Brooklyn, you just have you had to ask yourself, are you going to prioritize a guy like Jeff Green over the value now that we just have, right? The answer is no. So no one else I've mentioned on Brooklyn side. Moving on to Sacramento, I think De'Aaron Fox is a fantastic tournament play. One of my favorite plays in the slate. I think he goes overlooked. I think, ownership's going to go to Kyrie. Ownership's going to go to Harden. Ownership's going to go to John Wall, Brad Beal. Fox is going to go overlooked. I absolutely love him on the slate for tournaments. I think he plays 38, 39 minutes in a close game. This is literally one of the best, if not the best possible matchups. The price point might scare some people off. I love Fox for tournaments. Hield, Barnes, definitely viable. Neither are priorities for me. They do become a little bit more viable because of the matchup. Same thing with Halbert, not a priority. Now, big news is Rashawn Holmes and Marvin Bagley. This is pretty big news. Now, if Rashawn Holmes plays, I think he's an interesting tournament play. We've seen 40-plus fantasy point upside from him. If Rashawn Holmes is out, I'm guessing Hassan Whiteside starts. If Hassan Whiteside starts for Rashawn Holmes, he becomes one of the best value plays of the slate. The tricky part is, again, he is in the late game, so you have to ask yourself, are you going to leave room for this? Because if Rashawn Holmes is out and Whiteside starts, Whiteside is an amazing value at 4.3K. And then Marvin Bagley, he is currently questionable. If he misses, then Naminza Bjelica becomes a good value, who's played 28 and 27 minutes last couple games. And they could even use him as a small ball 5 if they want to. So would really like Bjelica and Whiteside if both these guys are out. Again, late game, so you have to ask yourself, are you going to leave room for them? It's a risk. Because there's a lot of good value already with Houston, some of the centers with guys like Mo Wagner, guys like Nerlens Noel, even a JaVale McGee, the Clippers guys. So again, safe approach might be to take the value that we have guaranteed right now. Risky approach though, again, maybe you hope for Taurean Prince to be out. Maybe you take a shot in a low-owned Cedi Osman. Maybe again you hope for Rashawn Holmes to be out. You hope for Marvin Bagley to be out. You take a shot in a low-owned Whiteside, low-owned Bjelica, right? Because if Rashawn Holmes and Bagley get ruled out about 30 minutes before lock, Bjelica and Whiteside are going to be really, really low-owned. Because, again, the chalk value is going to be with Houston. I'm not saying it's bad, right? Cash games, you go Houston value for sure. But, yeah, that's really my breakdown, guys, for the slate. Let's refresh Fan Slabs. Let's make sure we're up to date. I know that was kind of fast, but I wanted to get through everything so we get to some questions. Tony Snell, oh, yeah, big news ruled out. No. Yeah, so, all right, guys, let's do it. 447 viewers, 78 likes. Thank you. 4,100 for utility. What do you all think? It's going to be a Houston value, guys. So, who's in that range? Let's see. It's probably going to be David Nwaba for me right now. Now again, you can take a shot in a guy like Naminza Bjelica and hope Marvin Bagley's out. But yeah, that's probably where I'm looking. I'm saving for $1 million. Harden, Lou, Morris, Allen, Wall, Noel, and 3 different players with Sterling Brown, Bruce, Kennard, Gallo. I think Gallo's I think you really. I don't think that's worth it. I think you really want to go stars and scrubs. So get to the absolute top. Guys like Harden, guys like Beal, Westbrook, Kyrie. You get to those guys, you use the value. I don't think playing like a Gallinari at 5K is worth it on the slate. I think Lou and Reggie are the 2 guys I'll look to first for the Clippers. I think both look really good. And then some lower owned value would be Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard. Yeah, Reggie Jackson should play big minutes. Yeah, 100% you can play Harden and Kyrie together. 100%. Whiteside over Noel. If Bagley's out and Whiteside starts, I would prefer Whiteside. But we're not going to get that news most likely. So again, another question. Are you going to take the risk and hope for that? Noel or Marcus Morris? Give me the discount on Noel. Bam, Randall, and Capella. Randall 1, then Bam 2, then Capella 3. Lou and Morris, yeah, you can fit Wall, Kyrie, Sabonis, Mitchell. Yeah, you can basically fit whoever you want into your lineup. So it's, again, 100% stars and scrubs. 2 Clippers. I like the Clippers a lot. Who should I pivot to if Holmes plays? If Holmes plays, then you have the Clippers value. So, or Bjelica. if Marvin Bagley's out. Or you got the Clippers value, right? So Clippers value being, you can pivot to Luke Kennard, Terrence Mann, those guys, Reggie Jackson if you can get to them. Top 2 Clippers, Reggie and Lou. Jared Allen for cash, you can do it. Nwaba over Sterling, they're both really good values. Don't have a strong take there. Wagner value, again, you can play him. There is some risk with the fact of foul trouble maybe, or they have 2 other centers, but I do like Mo if he plays for 20 minutes. Thoughts on Harden, Williams, Nwaba, Morris, Jordan, Wall, Osman, and Fox. I don't love DeAndre Jordan. Everything else is fine there. Randall or Sabonis. Give me Sabonis. Is Brogdon decent GPP play? Yeah, he'll be very overlooked. I just have a hard time playing Brogdon over Wall, over Beal, Westbrook, Kyrie, Harden, Fox. Best Houston value. Don't have a super strong take. I think Nwaba is the cheapest, and he's starting, so he looks pretty safe. I like Sterling Brown a good amount off the bench. Tate, all of them look good. I don't really have a strong take. I think go with what fits with your lineup, because you're definitely going to want at least one of those guys. I like the haircut. Thank you, man. I needed one. The hair is getting long. Value center, there's 3. You got Mo Wagner, you got JaVale McGee, you got Nerlens Noel. McGee or Wagner. I think Wagner's a little bit. They're both risky, right? There's both some risk involved. I'll go Mo Wagner right now, but like they're pretty similar plays. Wall, Kyrie, Nwaba, Morris, Boogie, Fox, Osman, Lou Will. I like that. Marcus Morris or Ibaka. Ibaka probably is a little more upside, but his minutes are never. If you're shooting for the upside, Ibaka, and hope he plays close to 30 minutes again. Nwaba or Reggie, regardless of price, Reggie for sure. Non-obvious forward under 4K. 4K non-obvious? I don't know what that means. Again, Bielitsa if there's no Marvin Bagley. And then you have Nwaba. You have Sterling Brown. Both look really good. You can take a shot on Chetty Osman. Again, if there's no Taurean Prince and Osman starts, I think he's a really good value at 3-3. They'll be sneaky. Eddie. Yeah, Osman I think is a sneaky value again if there's no Taurean Prince. It's a really crazy slate. TLC. So here's another situation. You got to ask yourself, are you going to play TLC over David Nwaba, over Sterling Brown, over the rest of the Rockets value, over Mo Wagner, over Nerlens Noel, over, possibly those Sacramento guys? No, you're not. Kyrie or Fox? Depends what the rest of your lineup looks like. If you have Harden, then I would go Fox. If you don't have any Brooklyn guys, then maybe lean Kyrie, but I really like that game. Nwaba or Kennard on DK? I'll go Nwaba, but that's really close. Really close there. Fox was off today. I love Fox. Allen or Cousins? I think Allen there. Can you rank House, Sterling, Nwaba? I don't really have... I think Nwaba probably looks the best because he's the cheapest of the bunch, but I like them all. I don't really have a take there. Ingles or Harris? I don't think you play either, to be honest, on this slate. I guess Ingles, but I think that's a mistake playing either one of those guys. Tate or House? I think Tate probably has a little bit of a higher floor. So if we're talking exactly Tate versus House, Tate does more of the peripherals, House more reliant on the scoring, but if House hits his threes, he can definitely go for 30+. So if you're going for safety, it's probably Tate. Kyrie, Lou Will, House, Sabonis, McGee, Wall, Sterling Brown, and Cousins. I think that's fine. Noel or Jordan Noel, 3.1K and forward. I don't think there's anyone down there. 3.1K. There's no one. I think this is a mistake you were playing someone down in this range. Obi Toppin did play 15 minutes the last game, but I think that it's just sacrificing too much to go down here. So the answer would be no one. Favorite centers? I think if you're spending up, it's Jared Allen for me. If you're spending down, we got Mo Wagner, Noel, and JaVale McGee. Beal or Fox? I love them both. Straight up, give me Fox, though. How many good guard plays? Harden, Kyrie, and Cash, you can definitely play both. Yeah, Beal or Fox, I love them both. I'll go Fox because I think he's going to be lower owned, but I really, really do like both. Viable to fade Brooklyn Kings game because of blowout risk? You can do it. The Kings are not great. The risk, though, is if you do fade Brooklyn and Sacramento and that game stays close, you're going to be in for a long night. Now, again, if you fade it, the game's going to be popular. And if it blows out, you're going to be looking really good. So it's either boom or bust. If you fade it and it blows out, you're going to make a ton of money. If you fade it and it stays close, you are most likely going to be done for. Harden and Kyrie run it back with Fox. Yeah, 100%. I like that build a lot. Now, the issue is, again, then you're fading John Wall. Then you're fading Beal, Westbrook. It is a little bit risky there. Fading Mitchell and Cash. Yeah, I think Mitchell is a contrarian play. I have a hard time playing. I do like Donovan Mitchell. He's running the point, but I just have a hard time playing him over John Wall, over Beal, over Kyrie. Gallinari, O'Neal, and House Tate. Ugh. I don't think I would play Gallo or O'Neal. I don't think it's necessary. So, cash-wise, Tate, then House. 5,800 for utility. And this is just a spot I don't want to be in this slate. I don't want to play guys in this range. If I had to pick one, it would be Marcus Morris there at 5.2K. But that's not a spot I want to be in. Harris, if Embiid is out, I still don't even know if I get to Tobias and Ben Simmons. Is it a mistake of playing Marcus Morris? Not a mistake. He's not the first guy in, though, for me. It's Lou. It's Reggie Jackson, the first guy's in for me. JaVale revenge game. Yep, again, you can play JaVale. Allen or Cousins. Allen. Kennard, Sterling Brown, or Bruce Brown. I wouldn't play Bruce Brown. It would be probably Sterling, then Kennard. Thoughts on spending up for Beal? I like it. I think it's the issue is there's so many good guard plays, right? And even some good values now, right? We have the Clippers value with Reggie and Mann and we have Lou Williams in the mid-range, and then you have all the good guys at the top. So I wish I could play a ton of guards today. Bertans, nah, not for me. I think that's just getting too cute. You like Kennard? Yeah, I think Kennard probably plays close to 30 minutes. Kyrie or Fox? Again, I'll go Fox for the ownership, but I love both. Is Wall must play tonight? I think the only way he doesn't get there is a blowout. So I love Wall. Jimmy Butler, nah. I cannot prioritize Jimmy Butler on the slate. Fox, Lou, Tate, Randall, Wagner. Okay, that's decent. Again, Randall will be lower owned. Randall and Wagner or Sabonis and McGee. Give me Sabonis and McGee. Jimmy Butler, nothing more than can train play in the slate. He's still got upside, but again, are you going to play Jimmy Butler over John Wall? Are you going to play Jimmy Butler over Kyrie, Harden, Fox, Beal, Westbrook? I got Lou Williams even. I got Sweet Lou, Beal, Brown, Sabonis, Noel, Wall. I think that's a decent contrarian lineup. Yeah, Sterling Brown or Marcus Morris straight up. Straight up, it would probably be Marcus Morris. But I think I like Sterling Brown better point per dollar. Jimmy Butler against secondary play. Joe Harris, nah. Joe Harris's role doesn't change. He'll just have to hit his threes. DK, Harden, Lou Will, Nwaba, Tate, Wagner, Wall, Morris. Yeah, I think that's a good lineup. Trae Young, contrarian play, just like Steph Curry. Jimmy Butler, again, contrarian play. Wall, Lou Will, Harden, Marcus Morris, Randall, Nwaba, Ibaka, and Jarrett Allen. And Ibaka's a little bit contrarian on the slate, in my opinion. Beal, Whiteside, or Cousins Wall tournament. Beal and Whiteside. If there's no... I really like Whiteside for tournaments if there's no Richaun Holmes and he starts. But we're not going to get that news. So that's one where it's like, okay, you're really banking on. You absolutely need Richaun Holmes to be out. If Holmes is in, you don't want to play Whiteside. So that's a really risky one. But like I said, if Richaun Holmes gets ruled out 30 minutes before lock, you're going to get a really, really low-owned Hassan Whiteside. Whiteside or Noel for cash. Whiteside, I would prefer Whiteside if he starts. But right now, we're not going to get that news. So I think your answer is Noel for cash. Really wish Harden was still shooting guard eligible. I do too. Again, point guard is so loaded today. Jimmy Butler, I already answered that contrarian. Noel or Whiteside? Yeah, it's Noel right now. I think Whiteside's a better point per dollar play though if Holmes is out and he starts. So again, are you going to take that risk? Wall never a must play. He hasn't hit 50 DK and you'll be holding hands a lot of people. Okay, that's your take. I think Wall is probably the best point per dollar play in the slate. McGee or Noel? Noel right now. Like, I think Noel is safer than JaVale McGee because he has upside to play more minutes. Like McGee, he's not going to play in a blowout either. Like JaVale McGee did not play in the ball last game, so he's basically going to play 15 minutes unless we get Jarrett Allen foul trouble. You don't have to play Lou Will. No, you don't have to play Lou Will, but he's going to be the number one in the offense. McGee and Oubre or Noel and Sterling Brown. Noel and Sterling Brown. Miami Clippers, blowout risk. There's definitely some blowout risk there, yeah. So like you can avoid guys like Lou, Reggie Jackson. Maybe you look if you think the game blows out, go to a guy like Terrence Mann. Terrence Mann will probably be the guy to look to if you think the game blows out. Wagner or JaVale. Wagner, but it's close. Fox, Harden, Bielitsa if the Sacramento miss, or Lou, Butler, and Kyrie. The first one. Let's see. Wall, Lou Will, Harden. Okay, I already answered that. JaVale easy. Okay. Kyrie, Allen, Nwaba versus Harden, Noel, Sterling. I think I'll go with the first option there. Ford under 4,300. It's going to be one of the Rockets guys. So let's see. Where's 4,300? I mean, you have House or Sterling Brown or even Kennard. I would go to probably one of the Houston guys up for cash. Sabonis or Fox? Fox for me. Fox or Beal for cash. I still really like De'Aaron Fox. Would I play him in cash games? I don't know because he was injured and he only played 30 minutes the last game. But, man, I really like the upside in De'Aaron Fox. I really like his upside. I guess cash games would probably be Beal. Morris, Batum, or Olynyk? Morris, but I don't really like. I don't love any of them. All right, guys, one more minute here. Twitter's in the description below. It's just DK__DFS. Kyrie or Harden, point per dollar. Point per dollar, I might slightly prefer Kyrie, but like if you can get to Harden, I think he has more upside. And there's so much value that's like I don't even know if it's necessary to get to the better point per dollar play. Better paid up options, Sabonis or Fox. I mean, for me, it's going to be Fox because I just absolutely love that matchup. Sabonis is a good matchup too, though. Who plays on the Clips in a blowout? Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, Zubac, and then probably a couple of end of the bench guys. Jarrett Allen and Reggie Jackson or Kyrie and McGee. I'll go with the first one, but man, that's close. Sterling or Kennard for cash? I think it's Sterling Brown for me. Really like Fox today. Yeah, I think, again, Fox I think goes overlooked. That's the guy I'm the most high on for like ownership. I think he will be low owned. Cousins, no, I think Cousins is a good tournament play. I think this is a game you might have to play more. So I think Boogie Cousins is firmly in play for tournaments. Best shooting forward, Wait, what do you mean shooting forward? Are you playing Boogie? I don't know Boogie right now, but I do like his upside. If I knew Boogie was going to play over 30 minutes, I probably would play him. I think there's a chance he might. I think there's a chance he might play over 30 minutes. Thoughts on Wall, Beal, Nwaba, Green, McGee, Irving, Wiggins, Jackson for GPP. I don't love Andrew Wiggins. Everything else is good, though. All right, let's refresh FanSlabs one more time, and then I do it to get out of here, guys. Again, I know it went pretty fast there, but this is just a crazy slate. There's a ton of value. Some sneaky value, too, right? So sneaky value plays in the late games. Right, if Taurean Prince gets ruled out, I really like Cedi Osman if he starts. So that's one value play that I think will go overlooked if we get news of that ruled out late. And then the two Sacramento guys, Whiteside and Bjelica. If both Holmes and Bagley are out, and those two, or Whiteside starts, Bjelica won't start, but Bjelica should play good minutes. Those two are really good sneaky value plays that I think go overlooked because we're probably not going to get that news until later. Right, safe value is 100% with the Houston Rockets guys. So cash games, I think Houston Rockets are where you look for sure. Is Embiid out? Still game time decision, but don't have a ton of interest in that game. Small forward valued? Is that what the question was? Small forward value. Safety wise, Sterling Brown, David Nwaba. Risky, you can go Cedi Osman. Yeah, this is definitely a position I want to spend down on. Because up at the top, there's just not a lot I like. I'm not going to Ben Simmons, Jimmy. I don't think it's worth it to spend up in small forward. Definitely think you want to spend down on small forward with those guys. So again, you got Tate, you got House, you got Sterling Brown, Kennard, you got Cedi Osman, riskier value, David Nwaba as well. But that's it, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Good luck to everyone. I know this is an absolutely crazy slate. There's a ton of ways you can go. I love it for tournaments. I love this slate for tournaments. So good luck today, guys, and I'll be back here for another live stream on Tuesday.